Let's take a gentleman who has a lot of stories to tell. He's a media critic, but he's also well known as a child and gender rights advocate. He's also spearheading a new wave of support by men for issues that concern women. Remember, rape is a human thing. We've been saying that now. I think it's a new mantra. Dorothy, thank you for giving us that. So let's please warmly welcome Lemi Uwegbe. Thank you.
I wish to adopt the existing protocol and urge you to deem the protocol as having been adopted as I proceed with my comment. A few weeks ago, some people who should know better came to interview me from the civil society, potential donors, grant givers, came to interview me, and they asked, of course they were documenting all of it with their computers, iPhones and all, and they asked me, there are so many problems with Nigeria, how come you are focusing on children and women? And my first answer was, why not? No society can grow great when we conspire to subjugate, subdue, rape, violate children and women. The wellness of our women and our children, therein lies our greatness as a people and as a nation. So, after my sojourn in active practice in journalism, I decided that my next calling was to respond to issues of rights, human rights generally, and good governance, while concentrating more on children and women. We will remember, how many of us know the story of Ochanya? Give me a wiper if you do. Thank you for remembering. We have, generally, we suffer in national amnesia. You would find that is the contemporary cases, the most recent or more recent cases that we refer to. But Ochanya's case really marks the watershed in the fight on SGBV. 2 years ago, the little girl story emerged. She had left her home to go to her aunt's place in order to seek education. We also must invest in girl child education. In doing that, she went at age 8. The auntie's son, Victor Ogbuja, started raping her, violating her. Victor's sister complained to her mother, look at what Victor is doing to Ochanya, Elizabeth Ogbanje. Instead of the mother talking as usual, the mother decided to keep it hush. Victor's sister went to her father and said, look at what Victor is doing. Her father, a lecturer at the Polytechnic of Bulawayo in Benue State. The father, instead of reacting, it was as if the daughter's information was like telling him food is ready, sadly. The father and the son, Andrew and Victor Ogbuja, started drugging, violating, raping, and sodomizing an 8-year-old girl. And for 5 years, this girl could not find her voice. She eventually died of complication. That was 2 years ago when she was 13 years old. If today you are an apologist, somehow you justify the act of rape or the act of groping a woman or anybody as a matter of fact, and you somehow can reason and reconcile with that act, you are an enabler of rape. We need to take it seriously. I'll tell you again, because I've been really involved, and it's a 6-year-old girl, little girl, she had started abusing a boy in her class. And I'm serious with all sense of responsibility. I was personally involved in investigating it. She had started abusing a boy in her class. By the time I investigated and all, of course you have to play with a child very well for perhaps a day or two before the child trusts you to open up. Eventually she agreed that she was always pulling John's pee-pee Families don't like to call the names. They give the genitals different names. And he say, yes, I pulled John's pee. I say, I felt, how did you learn how to do that? And she said, when my daddy and me and my baby sister, 7-month-old sister, are in the room, my daddy puts his pee in my baby sister's mouth and she sucks as feeding bottle. I am not kidding. Unfortunately, efforts to bring this information in a good way to mother. Remember, a mother cannot be blamed for not knowing that the father was doing that, because why would you marry a man in the first place if you knew that you could not have your children, your daughter, safe with him in the room? No. But it is the reaction that worries us. The mother didn't know, but by the time we brought our attention to it, the mother would rather we don't dare talk anything about it. If a mother won't cooperate when it has to do with child sexual abuse, you are handicapped what to do no matter how much you care. Eventually, that was one of the bitter experiences I have. There is the case of a lady at 19. The parents came and armed robbers came to their house. When armed robbers came, and I'm talking about my personal friend, I don't have our authority to disclose names, so I'll keep it. At 19, when robbers came, robbers wanted to rape her mother after cutting whatever they needed to take away. And in trying to rape her mother, the mother said she was in a usual monthly period. Now, unfortunately, the young lady at 19 didn't know that robbers had come. She was stepping down from upstairs down when they saw her, and of course, wearing a nightie, a transparent. They said, you come. And at 19, they raped her and got her even pregnant in the process and made her father watch that scene. As I speak to you, I have known her for 12 years. In 12 years, she's been a recluse. She appears today and you think everything is okay. She takes off and you don't see her. Maybe you make a call. Sometimes she sounds normal. Most times she is not. As I speak to you, she's 40 years old. She is dying. She's not a survivor. 40 years, she cannot hold down a relationship. And I don't mean sexual relationship. She cannot even have a friend. She does not trust nobody. Now that is the psychosocial consequence of rape, which society must grapple with and go beyond the rhetorics, reactionary rhetorics, to back it up with concrete action. The media, the civil society, and of course government. When we say there must be gender desk in the police station, it is ridiculous that we say it, we don't back it up. And I say this with all sense of responsibility, because in the last 3 weeks, I have been in the station so often. I have seen policemen take advantage of a woman who is stranded and arrested by her husband, and they insist, because the husband says they must do that, that the only way they can let her go is if she brings the marriage certificate forward. This is a woman who's experienced abuses of all kinds at home. She must bring the marriage certificate as condition for her to be released. Now, the law favors the woman when it comes to marriage certificate. The law says it is in the custody of the woman. It is unlawful for you as a man to forcibly take the marriage certificate of the woman. Yet the police station